Well, your good old Bloodhound, Blue Ridge Silverhound, is back at it again, exposing yet another individual trying to get in over on suspecting collectors. Probably don't know any better. Um, but this time we are going to focus on cutting errors on paper money. All right, which is actually a legit thing. I would say that most of what's out there in the marketplace today, we don't have to worry too much about. Even the raw ones, we kind of know what they are, but it always helps, the listings that come up graded. There's really no disputing the authenticity of those particular notes. Um, PMG, PCGS banknote, they do a really good job at sniffing out, the stuff that's legit and the stuff that is, not too legit. Not enough to make these people quit. That's for sure. Um, so what are we looking at here? I mean, I'm just kind of like scrolling on down the line here at a few pieces that are currently on eBay as we speak, and I would say a fair amount of them at the very top as far as price goes. They are all okay. Okay, I personally give my seal of approval on quite a few of them. Even the good old Canadian notes getting a little bit of love here with the butterfly folds and all that great stuff. So yeah, I'm just kind of trolling along here, looking at all the notes, and then we get to a certain point. I actually know where the note is. We just have a little bit further to go, and it's one that kind of like sticks out like a sore thumb. That's gonna be this bad boy right here. Note miscut series 1981A $1 bill error rare lot Z103 for $449. I mean, damn, it looks pretty good, convincing, collectability right there on that one. It looks, to be quite frank, the most wildest thing I've ever seen. But when we look up closer at this note right here, I'm pretty sure that they nailed the size down on this one. This is a little deceptive because of how it's cut, but it really does look like a legitimate sized $1 small Federal Reserve note. So, as we go and look through here, okay, first thing I want you guys to note on this one is the double nines in the serial number. That's going to become incredibly important through the course of our investigation in this video, so that way you guys are in the know. When you look out for these, you're going to know which ones are the real deal and which ones are not so much. When we look at the reverse, it is miscut in the much same fashion as the front is. This thing looks like it's almost perfectly centered where that like big thick margin is right down the middle. There's another little close up right there for you guys, just so you can see that the note looks to be crispy uncirculated. Like obviously, if you found this in the bank strap, you would pull that sucker right out of there, and probably do the happy dance as a result. So let's talk a little bit about why these serial numbers that start in 99 are important. All right. So the BEP, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, they're part of the Federal Reserve Services Group that produces our money, not only paper money but also coinage as well. So the U.S. Mint falls under that. The BEP, when they print out these notes, they go by block. Block is the first letter and then the suffix letter at the very end. So in this particular case, this is the JB block. The J simply means that this one was intended for a specific district. So Federal Reserve Bank, I forgot what J is, Kansas City. Kansas City, yeah. So your serial number is going to match, as far as the first letter, match whatever's in this black circle right here. I'll have like the city and state. That's the Federal Reserve Bank that one was designated to. It's not necessarily that that's where it was going to, but that's the designation. So what you guys need to know, when these things are being printed, for every block that they run, and they always run a new block, you ever wonder why they start with a specific letter at the beginning and then only the last letter changes? Is that they are continuously running these notes, and all they're doing, other than changing the serial number out, and that's automatically done, is that final letter. That final letter will end up being A, B, C, and it'll keep going until they max out that particular block. All right, so they spend all year printing these things, guys. There's no shortage of paper money out there. So the BEP prints specifically to be handed to the Federal Reserve Bank and then therefore distributed out to armored car companies, to the banks directly. They produce the first 96 million, and that's all accounted for by the serial number. The first 96 million is what's intended to go out there for us. So we're really only supposed to see notes that have a subject or a run size of 96 million and under. So when you come across these notes in circulation, you're not supposed to run into a serial number that starts in 97 or 98 or 99 and so on. It used to be that was the case, probably about 60, 70 years ago, but they don't do that anymore. They actually withhold the last 3,999,000 whatever for secondary market sales. You're like, what does that mean, secondary market sales? Well, they actually sell those last remaining 4 million notes. It used to be on their BEP website, but now they're selling it through the US Mint website. We're going to take a look at that here momentarily. But anytime you come across a note that begins with 99, you have to be extremely careful, because these particular notes were sold in sheets. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They were sold in full sheets or partial sheets through the US Mint website. All right. Which, if we're kind of like doing our homework in our head, things are beginning to kind of, seem a little clearer now that we know that this note here that starts in 99 came from a full subject sheet that could have been bought as like almost a novelty from the US Mint website. So here's another one right here. This is actually sold items of cutting error notes. I even typed in cutting error note. That's the same one as this. That shows all the notes all over the place, graded, raw examples. These are the actual sold pieces right here. This top one right here, doesn't that look familiar? That one's sold for a best offer. I don't really know how much it is, but we could sure as heck, find out here. 130point.com. We're going to go in here and copy and paste the listing title into 130 point. And then we get to see for ourselves how much that note sold for. So that was a note that was cut out of a full subject sheet. And let's see, nothing. Let me see if I could eliminate some of this here. Sometimes it won't take the whole listing title, so you have to whittle it down a little bit. There you go, that might do it. $250. Okay, off of the notion that that is a legitimate BEP error, but it's not. It was cut probably either by hand or using one of those slide cutters that they do at like print shops and things like that to cut that note to size. And then they could cut it to whatever size they want to out of there. But here is the crazy part. This is how naive some people are. So the first one we know starts with 99. This 2009 $1 Fed Reserve note here starts with, guess what? 99. All right, so that's another US Mint subject sheet piece there. These particular ones here, the $100 bills, okay, they're actually sequential. Yeah, they're a little bit miscut. Yeah, these are miscuts, and they are legitimate. See, look at the serial numbers. Yeah, they don't start with 99, so that one's good. That one actually sold for what they were asking for it. Here's another one here, another 2009. Again, folks, this is an emerging issue that is kind of going widespread. Now, this particular one right here, this one is very interesting because the front of the note, from what we could see, looks okay, but it looks funny. You see how it's kind of like faded and weird, like almost like this one was treated chemically, and then the reverse of the note looks like this. Things kind of don't add up, especially considering that the back of the note looks incredibly awesome for its condition, but the front of it looks like crap. So this one right here, there's a lot of red flags here with this one. Plus, you can see a little bit of the chemical bleed through of the green ink from the back of the note that has seeped into the front of the note here. So this one right here, some red flags here with that one. Um, Here's a good one right here. Check this one out. This will blow your mind. All right, see this one here? Cutting error, gem uncirculated. Someone buy it for 185 bucks. Look how fat those margins are. Yeah. And it starts with a 99. All right. So 99 note here. Again, fooled some unsuspecting buyer, you know. And what's crazy is this is not happening just on eBay, but I was at a coin show about 4 months ago here in Sacramento, and there was one dealer that had like five of these notes that were all much the same way. They were notes that began with 99, and they were cut all cattywampus and things like that. So that was a little disheartening. I didn't want to say anything because if I did, they would kick me out because I'm very outspoken when it comes to um, the manipulation of pieces. It's no better than trying to add a mint mark. Like adding an S mint mark to an 1893 Philadelphia Morgan dollar. Because that S mint mark will add thousands of dollars in value to that coin. And people do it all the time. The same way that some people have added a D mint mark to a 1916 Mercury dime. I've seen it before. So this is what they look like. All right. So the BEP in tandem with the US Mint, they sell these full subject sheets. They're either 50 note sheets, they're 32 note sheets. This one right here are $5 bills, 50 note uncut currency sheet. It says rollover image to zoom in, and I cannot do that because I wanted to show you the double nines on these. These will all have double nines. This is what they withheld so that way they could sell it on the secondary market. And then there you go. Now you guys got your explanation there on this one. Household order limit 999, so you could order 999 of these sheets. I mean, they're neat as a novelty, but the dollar bill and $2 bill subject sheets sell really well a few years later down the line. The $5 bills in a higher denomination, they tend to struggle a little bit. So let's see if we can. Here's the dollar bill one. Now you could roll over this one here. I don't. Yeah, it's hard to get in close here on this. Let's see if I could. Yeah, yeah, it's not too good there. But trust me, these particular notes right here, folks, they all start with 99. All right, so these are the notes that they withhold for secondary market sales, and the whole U.S. Mint website is full of stuff like this. So there's the $5 bills. $5 five note sheet. Let's look at this one here. This one might be able to. All right. Well, this one starts with 5.5, so that's probably not a great example. But the larger sheets, they all start with 9.9. All right. Yeah, so what they're doing is they're taking these notes, and you see how they're all connected, like so. So they could take these two middle notes, they could cut it all the way across, and then just cut a section out of the middle, and then claim it as some wild, mysterious paper money error that actually happened at the BEP on that piece of currency. And it's $86 for a 10 note sheet. And then what they'll do is they'll make five separate cutting errors out of this, sell them for a few $100 a piece, and the buyer won't know any better. They'll just look at it and like, oh my God, that is pretty neat. And oftentimes these are going to hit new collectors that are just getting into paper money, and they'll see it and they're like, man, that is so wild. I want one of those. So yeah, that's kind of like one of the new disturbing trends that's happening, not only on eBay but across the hobby as we speak. The manipulation of these US Mint BEP uncut currency sheets, which is a shame. You're pretty much mutilating actual legal tender to formulate some sort of fake error that'll do well in the market. And it's suckered in quite a few people today, and it's going to continue to do that unless we could get out there and distribute the message. Like do not get suckered into these things. Because if you send it off to a grading company, because in hindsight you're going to think to yourself, man, this thing really deserves to be in a PMG holder. They're going to get it and they're going to body bag it. They're going to tell you that it was mutilation on an uncut sheet, or a counterfeit type of error, and then they'll send it back to you and not in one of their holders. So do not get caught up. Do not waste your time or your money. You're better off just going to the US Mid website and just buy the sheet. It's awesome. Frame it, put it on your wall. These things are again, they do really well selling these every year. These notes that they just released for this year will no doubt sell out. All right, that's a start at the dollar bills and then work their way up as we go. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. Not nothing that I've ever talked about before, but it's really cool to get it off my chest. And then to you guys, always be on the lookout for weird, funky things like this. They're all over the place, believe it or not. If you've been to a few coin shows, you have probably seen a few of these. So again, hold on to your hard-earned money tight and don't be taken by some of these swindlers. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. I want you guys to have a great evening. Keep on collecting, and I'll see you next time. Take care.